Hey fam, Mushu here, and welcome to a unboxing video. It's not really a true unboxing video. I just kind of got some new art supplies. Not really. I got a couple art supplies because one of my friends gifted me a gift card from Blick Art Supply, and I picked up a couple items to restock in my collection of art supplies, and a couple of new items that I've always wanted to get but I couldn't justify getting because I own a lot of pens and a lot of markers and a couple other things, but it was a gift card and it was a gift to me from my dear friend. So thank you, Rory, if you're watching this, and here's the haul. So here goes our fancy box from Blick Art Materials. Covered up my address so that way no one knows where I'm from. But Blick's address is there, so it doesn't really matter on that. I'm gonna just open the box real quick. And let's see what goodies we got. A lot of bubble wrap. Again, it was a small haul. There's a lot of bubble wrap for very few things. Alright, the first batch of stuff that I'm going to show you guys are all the stuff that I got to restock my art supplies. So I have a couple of Copic refills here that I had to get because these markers ran out on me and I didn't realize I used them that much. So I have the Y08 and the T5 refills for the Copics. I've got a couple other Copic refills that I really like that I use for only the markers that I use really frequently and more often. So these two have been part of that collection now recently. I am surprised I never got a Y8 much sooner because like I use this color a lot, surprisingly. And I own a lot of the gray toners and the cools and the neutrals, so I want to slowly get all of those refills as well. So this just gave me the excuse to get the T5 toner refill. Really nifty stuff. They do last a nice amount. I know I have one of my other refills that I have opened to use a couple of times, so it's been nice to get more of them, and it was thanks to my friend. The other thing I recently got to restock in my art supplies are the 05 red and blue lead. Whenever I'm using mechanical pencils, I use the blue or the red. I really would like a purple or a violet or a pink or a Tuscan or deep red one as well, because those are the pencils I sketch with from Prismacolor, Cool Erase pencils. But whenever I'm using a mechanical, these are the ones that I usually go for. I know when I was in college, we used a lot of the blue, and then when I saw that they had a red, it worked out. And sometimes I like bouncing between the two. When I'm trying to do more cool stuff, like cool color things, I'll use the blue. If I want more red, like warm tones, I'll use the red one. So I restocked with those as well. Now the next thing was something I was excited to get, but I also wasn't sure if it was worth getting, and it was these transparent post-it notes. I've seen a couple other artists use them in their sketchbooks. Usually I just use vellum or tracing paper whenever I'm just testing out inks and stuff. I do find when I'm coloring on those kinds, only the vellum holds up more than the tracing paper, because I do like a very lightweight tracing paper. But I figured trying out the transparent post-it notes didn't hurt. And again, it was just a gift card that my friend gave me, and I bought 2 packs of them. I figured if I do use these a lot more frequently, I will probably cut down my vellum to be this size, because usually my vellum sheets of paper I just cut down the size I need because I have a big pad. But the only benefit of getting these is that they have an adhesive on the other side, which is very helpful when I'm just sticking it in there instead of just trying to use masking tape to tape down my vellum or transparent paper. The next thing that I was excited to get to use were these zebra Mildliner brush pens. I have the Cool and Refined set, and I also got the fluorescent set. I was really looking at the colors. I always like fluorescence, so I always can never not get a fluorescent pen. But I wanted to get the Cool and Refined because I really wanted the purple, and I liked how this red looks kind of pink. And then of course you can't go wrong with these here. I like a lot of the gray ones as well. So I was excited to use these in my sketchbook because I've seen other people sketch with them, use bullet journal stuff with them. I just couldn't justify getting them because I own a lot of colored liners, but can't go wrong. And it was a gift. It was a gift. It was a gift. And last but not least, this is just a guilty pleasure. I got this little Beat It set here. Oh, I wanted the one with the stars. That's why I chose this set specifically, but I guess each of them come different, so this one doesn't have the stars in it. But this was a Beat It set I saw for a while at the art store I used to work at, and then I saw that they had it at this one, so I was like, hey, it doesn't hurt to get it. But that's sad. I wanted the one with the stars, but the clovers work too, and I like the colors of this, so I'm gonna add this to my beading collection just for leisure and stuff like that, and scrapbooking. So that's my haul. It was really interesting, and I think next is that I'm gonna swatch these and test these guys out, and also test out these, so that way you guys can see how they work and give you guys how I feel about them. Hey fam, Future Musha here. I'm just swatching my Mildliners in the back of my Five Below sketchbook. Right here I'm swatching the fluorescent pens, which I will say do pop on the page. I do like the brush tip on these, and I do like the fine point tip too. They're a little bit firmer than a regular like Tombow or Copic marker, but I do like that feature with these pens because they're mostly for journaling. That's the only reason why I can see why they're firm, or they're just new and I just need to work them out. Here I'm swatching the Cool Refined pens. I will say they do not match the caps from when I'm swatching in this sketchbook, but this is a cheaper paper sketchbook, so it could just be it just made the ink a little darker than I thought it would be. But when I did swatch them in my Moleskine, they did turn out to look closer to the caps. So if you're one of those people who rely on the cap to match the ink in your pen, I would say it looks better in probably a mixed media sketchbook or a notebook like Moleskine or Leuchtturm or any of those with a better kind of paper. Here I'm just sketching out a horned beetle. I just looked up a horned beetle or some kind of bug just to get a sketch out. I am sketching with my blue lead. I believe it's my 0.5 blue Pentel lead, 60 millimeter, just to show you guys what it looks like. I like these. I haven't had a lot of them break on me if you're worried about lead breaking, but if you're not a mechanical pencil type of person, then use any kind of cool erase pencil from Prismacolor or whatever pencil you enjoy. But I just like using them because they're nice and they're colored, and yeah. Here I am using one of the Mildliners to ink this little beetle real quick just to mess around with it. I did like it. It did have like good control on it too. I will say while I was sketching in my sketchbook with these liners, it didn't really bleed onto the other side, which I was very grateful for because I was worried about that when I was doing the swatches in the back. But because I was going over with the ink a couple of times, I did notice that it did bleed through this paper. But again, this is a cheaper paper sketchbook as well. Here I'm also drawing on top of the transparent Post-its. Now I have mixed feelings about these transparent Post-its, and it's probably not going to be a good review for them. I did line over them a little bit with these Mildliners, and it looked pretty okay. I did use them to color on top of it as well, which I was like, okay, it looks good with the Mildliners, and it looked closer to the cap color of the Mildliners too. However, when I did go over to ink with my Micron pen, it smeared right after, like, I think my hand rubbed on it just slightly, And the one thing I learned with these when I used them again later in my sketchbook just to fix something on one of my sketches is that I had to allow the ink from the micron to dry before trying to color over it. Now, it didn't smear when I colored over it after letting them dry for a bit, but it did smear afterward, which was not really what I wanted to happen. So there's that. But if you're one of those people who really like the transparent post-its, I would say go for it. They are a little too slick on the surface for me, per se, but I don't see why you can't use them. I just don't think they're the best usage for me currently with my work. And also, I did see people use Posca pens or acrylic paint pen, any other kind of acrylic paint pen over these post-its as well. Maybe I'll use that for a color substitute in the future. But anything that is like Copic marker or Tombow or something, it just did not do well. I was very disappointed with that. Um, but it's okay. I think I will just use them in other forms in the future, and I will just stick to my vellum paper. It's just gonna be much better that way for my work per se. But if you guys are people who do use these materials at all, drop a comment below and tell me how you use these supplies, because maybe I'm just using them just not the way that other people do, or you guys might know a cheat or a hack, or you just have your own feelings about these supplies too that you could share with me as well. But I'm open to anything. Hope you guys like this unboxing video. If you guys want to see more of this, just let me know and drop a comment below. Alright, bye.